I thought for the month of January it would be kind of fun to put a snowman sign next to the front door of the dollhouse. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. All right, our first step is going to be to build our snowman. And you can use anything you have on hand. I dug through my wood piece stash, and I've kind of made myself a promise that I'm going to use up a lot of the little pieces in my stash before I buy more little pieces. So I found these wood circles. Now this one is about a 1/2 inch, this one's about 3/4, and this one's about 7/8. Now, if you don't have those, and chances are you won't because you probably don't have the same stuff in your stash that I do, you could use paper circles. You could use cardstock. You could cut some out of like the cardboard that's on the back of a tablet. You could use any number of things. You could make clay circles out of just polymer clay, roll it out flat, cut it with cutters, bake it off, and use that. You just need 3 circles, and for this we need a craft stick. And I'm not going to put these at the very top or very bottom. I'm going to trim my craft stick later to size once I figure out what all I need, because I'm going to need to I want to put a hat on him, and that will be our next step. Well, that'll be our step after we paint him. So I'm going to do that. The smallest one on top. If you've only got 2 sizes of circles, just go with 2. You could use the same size for the middle and the bottom. This project is meant to be very flexible. I don't want you to think you have to make yours exactly the way I make mine. That's the beauty of these little inexpensive, fun little projects that we're doing, is that you can use what you have on hand in your stash. And if you need to go buy stuff, it gives you an idea of what kinds of things to look for. But again, it doesn't have to be exact. So I'm going to let this glue dry for a little bit, and once it's dry, we'll come back and we'll probably paint this part white before we go ahead to put the hat on. So when this is dry, I'll be back. All right, the glue is dry-ish on our snowman. So I've just got some white craft paint. This was some of that was provided by the Plaid people. And I'm also using one of the brushes that they provided. And this is a pretty simple, I mean, we've all painted. I'm actually going to hit, okay, a little bit of glue there. And I'm going to hit the back of this also. And I'm going to paint down not too far past where my snowman is, but a little bit. So I am going to turn the camera off. I'm going to get this all painted. I'm going to let it dry. And when this is dry, we'll come back and we will work on the next step. All right, let's work on the pieces that are going to become the hat on our snowman. So what I have here is a couple of pieces. This is a piece of craft stick, just like that, and I cut it a 1/2 inch long. This is a piece of one of those slim sticks from Hobby Lobby, and that is 3/4 of an inch long. And I am going to get a little container to put some paint onto. Myself a little tiny palette there and a brush. And yeah, this is going to be messy because they're little tiny pieces, but I didn't want to take a chance on getting the black paint all over my snowman. So we're going to paint these pieces completely. Front, back, ends, everything. And when they are dry, we'll come back and we will put them onto our snowman. All right, my paint is dry, so now we're going to glue the hat on. I'm just going to put some glue up here on this bit. And this is why I left this space up here. And I was lucky in that I didn't leave too much because I hadn't really thought about how much space I was going to need. Now, you could put your hat brim on that way. I'm going to put it this way and make it be a little more dimensional, front to back. And you can put your hat on at whatever angle you want your hat to be. You could put it on kind of tipped. You could put it on perfectly straight up and down. If your paint needs a little fixing, that's fine. That will be fine because we're going to be able to do that later. Looks like my stick might stick up just a little bit, but that's okay. Once the glue is dry, we can stick a little bit of black paint up there and nobody will even know. So we're going to let that glue dry because I don't want to knock my hat off when I'm painting the features on the snowman, and then we'll need to trim him and put him on a stand. So let's get that glue dried. Alright, now it's time to paint some features on, and I'm going to use a toothpick. I think I've done this on this channel before. Kind of blunt the end of it, and I'm going to blunt both ends because I'm going to use it for the one end for the black and one for the orange. Don't need a super sharp point. Now first off, I've got a couple of places here where I can kind of see. Alright, now put just a couple of dots for eyes. And you can do yours any way you want. And then I'm going to get just the tiniest bit of orange. Now if you've got a little tiny bead, I'm actually just going to dip into here because I don't need very much. If you've got a little tiny orange bead, you could probably use that for his little carrot nose. But I'm going to do that. So I want this paint to dry, and when this is dry, we'll trim off the base and we will make a stand for this. So I'll be back when it's dry. Alright, off camera with my easy cutter, and there is a video about this tool on the channel. I'll try to remember to link it in the description box where I talk about what that tool is and how it works. I have trimmed off the bottom of the craft stick that our snowman is glued to. I also cut a piece of craft stick that's not quite an inch long, and then I cut a piece of 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch strip wood to about a 1/4 inch long or so. And these are going to allow our little snowman to stand up. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put the little piece of this here. And this is actually going to be in front of our snowman. We're going to paint the base white. And then I'm going to put him back here. And because he's got that stick on the back, he will stand up pretty well. And when the glue dries, then he'll be nice and secure. So I'm going to let the glue dry. When it's dry, we'll touch up the paint and we will finish him off. Alright, my glue has set up, so I'm just going to take some white paint and paint all around on this wood. Now you could paint this a different color. You could even add some glitter to this wet paint if you wanted to make it a little sparkly. I don't know if I mentioned or not, I did paint the back of the area where the hat is. Off camera, I had to paint something else, black for another project. So, and at the same time, I'm going to go around. Yep, I don't see any spots that I missed that I really need to do. So I'm going to let this paint dry. And alright, our paint is all dry. I have some matte Mod Podge out here on a little palette, and we are just going to coat our little snowman with some matte Mod Podge. Now the matte Mod Podge is optional. I just like that it makes it look a little more finished, a little more professional looking. It doesn't look quite so cobbled together out of random pieces, even though we all know that's exactly what this is. So I'm just going to coat this with some nice even coat of matte Mod Podge. And let him dry. I am going to stand him up and get top of our base there. And like I said earlier, you could put some glitter on here if you want to. I don't really think he needs it, so I'm going to let him dry, and when he's dry, we'll come back, we'll look at him in front of the dollhouse. And here is our little snowman sign sitting right next to the front door on the dollhouse. I think he is going to be adorable for the month of January. I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, hit the like button, leave me a comment. If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, I encourage you to hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I post a new video. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.